GSL SuperTournament Season 2.
Super Tournament. More like Super Duper Tournament.
Season 2.
Welcome back. We just wrapped up the first best of 5. Kind of weird, actually. Maru just beats Rogue.
Just
3-0.
No problem.
So that all of our narratives that we built up from years and years and years don't matter, and nothing means everything. Or anything.
Nothing means everything.
Nothing means everything.
That's true, Tasis. We are all going to die one day.
Put that as my yearbook quote, Artosis. Yeah, Maru just crushes through Rogue. Rogue, of course, the former world champion of the last BlizzCon.
We got to talk for a second about this, about your word usage. Crushes through. Rogue was ahead at times. He held off cheese as well. You know, do we still call it crush?
You know when Mario,
I know it's 3-0.
She keeps jumping on turtle shells and eventually starts getting extra lives?
Yeah.
That's what Maru did to Rogue.
Yeah, I guess.
Rogue was those turtle shells.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. What else?
I will now remain silent until the next game starts.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I mean, I don't
know what to do about Maru anymore. He's ruining StarCraft, right?
He's ruining the game. He needs to stop. Someone needs to stop him.
God.
Cyril's our guy. Cyril right now,
I hope,
is watching this game wearing a cape.
I hope.
And as I said that, he pulls the cape over and disappears to go practice more.
The last person that beat Maru in a best of series was Stats. So Stats actually eliminated him from Super Tournament. I mean, from GSL vs. the World. So,
by the way, just a quick update. SOS has asked for additional time before we go into this match. Something involving his headsets.
Okay.
Headset.
Well,
it's good to be back, but my words are getting a little slippery here. Sometimes I'm using plurals when I'm not supposed to.
Yeah, that's okay. That doesn't matter, really.
You're right.
By the way, I really like your new look.
Thank you. Well, what you are you making?
Because you look like Jafar from Aladdin.
Yeah.
But it's funny because you look like Jafar, but your casting is more like Iago.
Thank you. I'll take that, Artosis. You're very kind.
Yeah.
You're on point with your Disney movie references ever since you had kids.
That's true. I watch a lot of Disney movies.
Yes.
Well,
if I cast this game too hard, I might lose my voice just like Ariel in The Little Mermaid.
Yes. And you have legs,
and
so it would be fair.
Yeah, instead of in my normal lower fish body, my merman body that I normally have. So Maru moves on. I guess we can touch upon that a little bit more when we get to the round of 8. What's so funny? Go on.
Well, I was just thinking about you with a fishtail and being a merman, but then I thought about actual mermen.
I feel like if I was a merman, I would have to also wear a tank top when I'm laying on top of the rocks.
Well, mermen always have six-packs and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I thought,
not me though. I have the tank top on.
They're underwater. They only eat fish and seaweed and stuff, so they're really healthy. They try to make bread, but it just
Do we know what they actually eat? Do we know what mermaids and mermen actually eat?
But they're not eating pizza. That's for sure. You can't make pizza underwater.
Can you make pizza underwater? The new iPhones, they work underwater. You get a delivery. Use your imagination, Artosis.
Or you put a bunch of rocks on the box and drop into the ocean.
Yes.
Oh my God.
You saw how the Ninja Turtles ate in that movie. They slid the box right down into the sewer.
That's why all the mermen are getting fat now, man.
And they have to wear tank tops like I do on the side of the ocean.
Their life expectancy's going down in Atlanta.
Most of the mermen have diabetes. Okay, we're going to go to this next match. Guys, SOS. I feel like everybody is just a world champion at this point in time. This game's been out for long enough. I'm like, another world champion. He really is, guys. 2-time world champion. Him and Dr. Disrespect. Going into this. And I gotta say, man, I'm looking forward to this match, but this is definitely one where there is a favorite and an underdog.
Yeah, it's super cool that KeeN got into this tournament. It kind of reinforces his round of 16 finish from last season. I feel this is a great time to be a StarCraft fan because KeeN has struggled he's been really an actual very high-level Terran. I'm not going to say top Terran, but a very, very good Terran, like Bunny or above level, for a year and a half at least. And he's finally getting some of those results. Now, SOS is a tough opponent for him here. You've got to favor SOS against basically everyone. And in fact, he might be one of the only people who can beat Maru in this tournament.
Yes.
At this point.
This is very important.
Rogue just went down like that. I leave it to just a handful of nerds that might be able to slay him. So, obviously, BlizzCon is a big factor in this match. If SOS loses here, he does not go to BlizzCon. If he wins, then actually he moves into 8th place. Just for that moment. Gumiho is out of BlizzCon if SOS wins this match. Of course, we have other players still vying for that spot. So it's important. KeeN has a lot of power here. I'm sure that as soon as Gumiho saw what the brackets were, he started helping KeeN. He's like,
I would
oh,
not be
KeeN,
surprised.
here are all my replays against SOS. Here's what I think. What do you need, KeeN? What do you need from me, KeeN?
Meanwhile, Gumiho has his SOS voodoo doll.
Yes.
Slowly putting pins through the wrists of that voodoo doll to try to take SOS down.
There's enough players in this tournament that can knock him out that I bet you he had to use half his GSL winning for
GSL
pins and
SuperTournament
voodoo dolls.
Season 2, Round of 16, Match 2.
All right.
Well, that's
He's
going
to make barracks in the middle of the map just like Maru.
I think they're both
Oh my
doing
God.
something a little bit cheeky.
So
here.
SOS is going to go for a quick scout here because, of course, we know that proxies, I mean, with what Maru's doing, he's basically influencing all other Terrans.
Yeah. And look, there is a proxy barracks, and SOS scouting this quickly.
Now,
realizes...
guys, let's keep in mind, the master of improv, SOS, if there's anybody who could probably figure out how to handle proxy barracks, it would be he.
Yeah. Capital H. He.
That's right. Your one true God with a capital G.
Yeah.
So let's see what SOS does this time around. I do feel like, we've spent years praising SOS, but for good reason. Besides him winning, besides World Championships, some of the most important tournaments that there is in StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
Getting to the finals of a GSL Code S. Somehow not winning a GSL Code S, which is a little bit odd.
Yeah.
He
in
seems
fact,
to
he's
perform
made
better.
2 finals and not 1.
Yes.
Lost
yes.
to Innovation and Beyond. So,
but he's proven that he's very good at thinking on his feet. He seems to really have a mind that can wrap itself around unusual RTS situations. And let's see how he handles it this time around. Already a pylon placed out here, presumably for a proxy.
He has another probe on the map now. And so that's kind of interesting. Scouts up, sees the fact, or actually that's a second barracks that's being built. Isn't that interesting? What the hell?
Well, it looks like we might be having...
Oh, it's because of the offensive gas, of course. I'm so silly. That makes perfect sense.
He's got excess minerals, so he wants to put that somewhere.
Yeah, and he needs some units at home, too, because, like, if something comes and you don't have your factory finishing up...
Look at this game. There's now, like, an eBay being made.
That's a bunker.
Should be a bunker being made over there at the Natural.
God.
All these funny little moments where it's like now this entire game is just stuff being built everywhere, and it's total insanity.
He has actually, you know what? This is really cool. I think you made the reference that with. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did you say something to the effect of like Maru is playing jazz or something?
That was SOS. I said that about.
Oh, okay.
Is everybody else? It's like they're playing a song.
Yeah.
That's mapped out. They have the music in front of them, but SOS is kind of he can improv like a jazz band and kind of play to the beats.
Well, it seems like a lot of these games, things are getting so hectic with proxy builds. I mean, look at some of the players. SOS, Maru. Hey, from the WCS circuit, Haas, right?
Yeah.
Right? These are players, whether you respect Haas or not, he's one of these that is making these games really, really crazy. And I think that the thing you said about jazz is really cool. And is an interesting way to look at it. I mean, but look at this. This is crazy. Like, there's so many weird things happening right now that you can't just have one practice build order and win. Not by any means.
And these Reapers now chasing away the Adept. The pylon does go down. The Sucker coming out here again. Barely, yes, does get that last Adept. And this means the Immortal's going to come out. And again, SOS really taking this game and trying to apply the pressure. The Reapers may try to come in here for a counterattack. That easily spotted there by the probe.
Yeah, and picking off the probe, though. Now you can't really add anything down there.
Well, I don't think oh, I'm sorry. I actually didn't see the bunker at the bottom center. I was looking at the bunker building at the center right. Well, let's see where the game really goes from here. I mean, there is a Warp Prism coming out, which means Terran is going to have to deal with the fact that this Protoss can really harass and come in here and put this pressure on. There's certainly locations where you can easily elevate your army up, where the bunkers are not.
Yeah, and with this Prism, he's going to be able to definitely get some damage done. All right, drops off his entire army. The Immortal is really the linchpin here, but these Adepts, he's now got 3. He can one-shot SCVs with that.
That's right. SCVs are coming forward. The Zealot here to soak his microed back. And it looks like now he wants to get into a position where he can keep the juggling alive. Immortal actually getting pretty low. Needs to be very careful to not lose that. Again, as Artosis said, the Immortal is basically the linchpin here. If you lose the Immortal, the Rush loses all momentum. Now, there's a second Immortal headed down here. Wait, is there? Where's the other Immortal? I saw that he made it. Okay, he's moving it now.
I think it's coming right now.
I think he wasn't rallied.
Yeah, didn't he go Immortal, Prism, Immortal, right?
Yes,
so,
and he's getting another Immortal here.
Yeah. It's probably an SCP inside that bunker. All right, so some hot pickups here on these Stalkers, just trying to eke out a bit more damage. Of course, with the second Immortal now, he can pop both of them in here. And
now the tank is up. I think this is just out of vision range.
Oh, I don't know. I think he's got to get out of here.
Yeah, I think he's way overextended.
Yeah.
This is really unfortunate, taking the bruises on those Immortals like that.
The double bunker really... It's kind of funny because the double bunker stops him from diving on that tank at all. Like 8 Marines non-stop firing at you, you're going to take too much damage. You can't even break that with Immortals. You have to have more than that.
So Terran holds in what is a pretty tight game so far here. Really, it's like nobody's expanded yet. Looks like we're finally going to have that happen now. But at that point in time, nobody could expand up until this moment because the fighting was so fierce on both sides. Anybody who would expand would probably end up losing in the long run. And again, SOS is continuing to keep pressure on over here.
I love this, how he has the Observer just kind of sieged up as well, where he's able to watch most of the main base and the ramp. The Stalkers just killed the depot.
Dude.
Yes,
he needs to empty those out.
Oh, yeah.
This is an awkward moment here, because the Viking can basically stalk the War Prism. And
Who's the Stalker now?
Oh, wow. Damn, you're good. I guess it's not going to catch it. I really thought it was going to chase it all the way down there, because that was kind of an awkward spot, right? There really wasn't anywhere effective to hide that Viking kept chasing. So we've got Blink now, a Dark Shrine as well. Terran has not landed the command center on the low ground yet. I think in part for fear that, that War Prism could come back in, a warp-in could begin. Stim is just now starting, so, the Protoss army is quite strong. Funnily enough, the sheer number of Marines is kind of what Terran has going for him right now. The fact that the shots, there's no splash damage right now.
Oh. Yeah, certainly right about that now. Ooh. Back up there. I love, by the way, that Dark Shrine is on the way here as well.
That really shows you the range of a siege tank. So Blink's almost done. I don't know if there's going to be a Blink into the main with Warpins. It seems like the game is set up where that is what will happen, but let's see. Okay, it is going to be the case. Oh, this is kind of awkward.
Oh, there you go. You got that sweet spot right there.
All right, and Blink just now finishes. Now, will he pull the trigger on that, or will he loop around and try to attack into the front?
He's trying to judge where the units are at, but yeah, he's going to go right into the main base.
Yeah. And this is pretty cool because the warp-ins are going to be huge. Now, there's 2 DTs warping in. I don't see where. I'm assuming it's at the proxy pylon location with the Robo.
Yeah, I think it probably must be. Oh my god, he just picked off one of the siege tanks there as well. It seems like this was really quite good in the initial Blink.
Where are these DTs? I do not see them.
He warped him in at home. Oh. He probably just was moving real quick and used a hotkey or something and went.
Okay, here they are. Now, I'm sorry, is there a turret at the bottom of the main?
No, I don't think so. There was a turret just on the edge. He's building a turret at the top of his main now.
Oh.
I think these are anti-prism turrets, though, which are not always good against CTs.
Yeah. Like behind the rocks up there?
I think he's waiting with those. He wants to spread out. Oh my gosh, he just used some of his energy there. He hit 50 and used a mule.
A mule?
A mule.
A mule.
Why is he muling when DTs are on the way?
Oh, he might. Well, there's one turret now in the very top corner of KeeN's base. Now, you don't have to run in with the DTs. You can use them to try to counterattack. Yeah. In kind of a pinning maneuver where if Terran leaves, then Protoss goes in. Terran has to go back. Protoss tries to escape. Either way, Terran never got to push you. And you can see this is all on the back of a third base being made here by SOS.
Gotta say, I'm slightly brokenhearted that he didn't get DT Blink this game. He's waited 100 years to move in. Now there's a Raven out. Look at this. These are like, what are these DTs that I'm seeing? I feel like these DTs have basically been Zerglings this game. He's like, run up, he's like, what do you have? Okay, I'll turn around. That's the most expensive Zergling you can get.
But it is invisible and it does have a cape, so I mean,
that's true.
It does come with some perks.
They really need a skin for the Zergling that has a cape.
Well, I think, yeah, just imagine lots of Zerglings with capes.
Oh my god.
And then the Ultra has a big cape too.
Oh,
one that's way too long.
Yeah.
Okay, well, KeeN has spotted the third base.
Oh my god, what about a circling skin that's actually just makes it look like a tiny Ultralisk? How sick would that be?
And an ultra skin that makes it look like a big Zergling.
That would be, oh, you're so smart.
That's right.
I never would have come up with that on my own.
Some Honey, I Shrunk the Kids stuff right there. Terrence moving out. Looks like he wants to just get rid of this proxy Robo here. Stimming down that Robo.
Get that Robo.
Get him out of there. Ha! Your shields can't save you now, not with Stim. And so, that position is now lost for SOS. But the real question is, when is KeeN going to come out and try to do damage here to the Protoss? KeeN has basically been, I think rightfully so, in a defensive position, trying to hold everything off. SOS has hoped that in that period of time, he can rely on counterattacks and expand because Terran's in such a defensive spot. Now we have 2 Archons being made. Ooh,
yeah, and he's Archons,
position.
but he doesn't have charge, right? Or wait, no, he had to have finished charge.
I didn't see.
Okay. I was too busy watching the Cape Boys and seeing what they were up to.
Okay, 1 Cape Boy coming in now. And this is what you got to do, man. And this is going to force KeeN's energy to really be divided. Yeah. Again, on 2 bases, denying mining from 1 location is huge. Oh, but there's a drop now in the main.
Okay, not a lot here to deal with it at the moment. Has to use that recall.
Oh, how many kills? Oh, not bad. 5 kills, 7 probes taken out. But the real thing we want to focus on is this push up here.
Oh, God, that third base.
I think that just goes down, right? Because, oh,
this is a big army.
Looks like Terran can recall, boys and girls. So Terran's going to try to come up here. Now, there's a Raven, so you can't rely on just ETs to warp it back at home to save the day.
Yeah, he's going to have to pick that off or something because he can't recall either. This counterattack, I don't think will kill KeeN. Because KeeN is up here behind his buildings and everything.
Some of the worst angling there to try to come up with these buildings are forcing the army of Protoss to zigzag.
But I think
an Archon with no shields at all.
Yeah, SOS has rightly, though, gone up the ramp. He has to do it because he's not going to win any other way. Oh, my God. Both the Immortals just blow up.
Oh, I think KeeN wins
KeeN
this.
Has it.
Yeah, he's got it. Stalkers alone will not save the day here. You know, I wonder how this game would have looked. Yep, doesn't matter. GG. I was going to say, I wonder how this game would have looked had SOS brought all of his main army, or all of that army up the ramp. But then again, you know, when you look at Medivacs and Stim, Archons, floating buildings, all these units put together, it seems like Terran just is in a better spot. But look, I got to say, I love the way that SOS opened that game up.
Yeah, it was super cool. Like, he injects so much chaos.
Here's what's weird about this. Look who's on the left. It's Maru. The guy who knows everything about proxy. And
he's like, his proxy.
Imagine what these guys are talking about. Yeah.
LOL.
He's like, his proxy's not as good.
The gas steal, I think, was a really cool thing by SOS.
Yeah.
Obviously, being on Maru's team, right, you get just the best practice against the best proxies in the world.
Well, it seems like back at the Jin Air Green Wings lab, they're just coming up with a completely new way to play StarCraft 2.
Well, you know what? It's kind of gross because you know they do animal testing there, right? Like, they're strapping in little bunnies into a keyboard, right? And Maru's proxying those little bunnies all over the place.
Yeah, little baby monkeys getting proxied.
Oh my God, someone's got to open all those cages and let those animals
They don't allow
out.
filming in those proxy areas.
No.
Yeah, that's right.
The things Maru does to them. Oh, and then SOS comes in.
That's right. But here's the thing. Now we have all those nice clones.
That is true.
That's true, right? You gotta pick. What do you want? What sacrifices have to be made?
Do you want these awesome StarCraft 2 games, or do you really care about guinea pigs?
That's the question that must be asked. Game 2's ready. Let's go.
GSL SuperTournament Season 2 Round of 16 Match 2
StarCraft 2 789.
It's so
Jin Air Green Wings SOS.
By the way, his probe is instantly in the middle of the map again.
Yeah.
Team Revolution KeeN.
That's cool, though, that KeeN took that map. We saw KeeN in the round of 16, but he got really bopped out, which wasn't too big a surprise. He had a very tough group, right? It was like SOS Stats and TY, right?
I wasn't listening to what you were saying. I'm sorry. I was drinking my water. What did you say?
Just nod.
Yes. Yes, Artosis.
Anyways, that's cool. He took game 1 here against SOS. Of course, for SOS, it's not cool, is it?
SOS support here. I agree. I want SOS to
Great
advance.
sign.
Sorry, KeeN. From Seattle. Excellent.
Well,
well, luckily for you, it came to the one time we have in Korea with good weather here today.
well, this is a great season for weather right now.
That's right, and that's exactly why we're
We're
inside
in the
watching
jeans
computer
and
games.
t-shirt weather right now, which is
That's
just
right.
the best weather that there is.
It is, truly. Just got out of shorts and t-shirt weather.
Yeah. Shorts and t-shirt while dripping sweat weather,
Yes.
which is not the best weather.
And so, this time around, KeeN has dialed it back a little bit into, I guess, what's orthodox play, or what we used to say is orthodox play.
Yeah. It's becoming less and less orthodox. Though.
We're still waiting, and we're going to see a lot more in the, World Championship Finals here. Is this really, is this new proxy way, is this the way for now, or is it a trend, that eventually gets solved and we have to kind of revert back to standard openings?
It's definitely going to be interesting because obviously we'll see what the meta is between the very top players in the world at BlizzCon, but then the big patch is going to come out, right? So that's going to shake things up a bit. Will the proxies survive that? I think they will. Nothing there makes me think that they won't. Damn, that's a brave probe.
I know. Uh-oh. My heart skips a beat every time an SCV stops in the middle of the map, Artosis.
Yeah. A little bit late for that, though, I think. Yeah, I guess you could throw down a Starport.
That's what I was thinking. We'll see, though. Maybe just
Oh,
that was sick.
That is sick, yeah. Probe stopping that depot from coming up.
Don't normally see that in a pro game.
No. But,
Sometimes
definitely
with
good
two
move.
players at different skill levels, you can see someone pull something off like that, where it's just like, damn, you're so good.
Yeah.
This is actually a decent amount of kills, guys. 3 kills is nothing
Yeah.
to sneeze at this early in the game.
No, certainly. The amount that he's slowed down this command center, and this hasn't been like a crazy opening, right? Yeah, he scouted quickly at the pro, but everything's been pretty normal by the old normal standards. Cyclone is out, so I think this is just about done now.
Yeah, I agree. With this Robo coming along, let's see if SOS decides to. And there it is, proxy to Starport. So let's see what kind of play SOS wants to do here. Now, again, proxies of all shapes and sizes are coming out in StarCraft 2 now, so this is a game where you opened up pretty standard. Now, proxy Starport's not unheard of. I mean, this has actually been around, since StarCraft 2 basically has been out.
It doesn't surprise you too much either.
Yeah.
It's like you probably see a quick Liberator. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for a medevac as well. Maybe, we've seen some Cyclone drops here and there against Protoss.
Sure. Note the position of that Cyclone out there. Oh,
look at this, though. SOS is definitely planning on being very aggressive. The fact that he's already made an Immortal, 2 more gates are coming in right now. Seems like we're just going to see a very strong push coming out of him. And the Liberator should be really, really strong against this. You're really trying to have your units out in the map being aggressive, but you have to send at least a Stalker home or warp in a Stalker at home to make it unsiege, and it's going to cost a lot of lost mining time.
okay. Of course, the Liberator's going to get there, I guess, before this rush can really activate with the Warp Prism. So here comes that Warp Prism now.
Yeah, look at all these sentries, man.
Oh, run! Run!
Each shot it takes.
Run! Run! Ow! Ow! So the Warp Prism's looping around. Okay. KeeN, he's not to be too critical, but he's not quite as quick as some of these other players are. Just having everything move. The attack comes in the front. Well, the Liberator's going to do damage in the back, but so far so good here in the front for SOS.
Oh, a little bit sloppy there in the damage taken by the sentries, but it looks like he doesn't lose any, so it's all right.
Dude, he only loses 2 probes as well.
Yeah, he lost 1 Stalker to that also. It was a good siege over the Stalker that was warping in. But now it looks like it is. I thought for sure SOS was going to just do an attack, but it seems like he's played very defensively with the sentries and Immortal.
I like the rotation of the Cyclone drop over here. I don't know if there's going to be enough. The 2 Stalkers are just not going to cut it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Perfectly timed.
SOS meant to do that.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Dark Shrine.
He meant to do that too. Oh, nice. Takes out the Liberator. I just got my SOS pom-poms out.
Yeah,
just cheering
I
him
see
along.
I see that.
You don't understand him.
Not
I
like
can change him. I can change him. The push is coming up in the front.
Yeah, and with the Guardian Shield, I mean, you're not going to break that with just 5 brains, that's for sure.
These Cyclones are still doing some damage, maybe not as quickly as the push here from SOS.
Siege tank in position, going to be able to clean up these sentries somewhat.
Kind of a weird fight we're looking here with. I don't know if SOS's screen is over that. I think he's trying to handle the rush.
Yeah.
Keep in mind that KeeN's actually the one that's taking more damage, though. The Adepts in the back did the real damage, and the attack of the front has really just kept KeeN occupied.
Yeah, very kind of sloppy game on both sides because they are attacking each other very aggressively with some kind of like off-brand ways, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
again with the Dark Shrine.
the old standard of StarCraft 2 really seems to just be gone. It's been like a while now that we've just seen this kind of new normal.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel normal to me yet.
No. Well, so we've been casting for so long, we kind of have a rhythm and an ebb and a flow for what we're used to games looking like. Everything's
I like this,
pretty
though.
crazy. Oh, I welcome it.
I'm getting happier and happier with it. I was already so happy with where StarCraft 2 was at.
No, this is the best StarCraft 2's ever been. Oh, scan! Run!
Oh, get wrecked.
Looks like his Invisibles are doing a lot of damage, Artie.
Yeah, they are. A lot of repair going down. That mule is breaking my heart. Watching 2 mules repair depots with SCVs.
So, at least theme-wise, similar to what we saw in the last game, SOS is using a lot of pressure to keep himself covered as he takes a third base.
Yeah.
The DTs are an interesting choice in this, in that you have to use some scans to defend, but that makes you very uncomfortable to attack out until you have a Raven, which has just now started.
Yeah, and I mean, the Raven's going to be useful anyways, but I think the time of the DT is mostly done. KeeN definitely having a harder time this game. His economy has been hurt a bit more. He has that third command center, so he definitely can rebuild. But this is feeling a lot better for SOS than what we saw in the last game. Double Forge is being made. Yeah, I mean, this is looking really tough for KeeN. I wonder what he's going to do to try to come back into this.
Well, SOS is really in control right now. We saw that there was an attempted drop there early on. I don't feel like dropping, especially on a map this big, is going to let KeeN get back into this. I think KeeN has to get a third base up. The question is really how. It seems as though not only could SOS win a fight if KeeN tried to come out the front of his base, but SOS could also fly in and do a warp in the main. So it's kind of weird. Kind of funny.
Never mind.
He's like, sorry.
Oh, sickest bait.
He's like, now back to what I want to do. Yes. Well, I mean, this is so far so good here for SOS, and I love this gold base, by the way.
Yeah. Well, he's definitely got that map control right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't seem like it's going to go away. As long as he doesn't take a terrible fight, the fact that he's going to have 2-1 against 1-0 and, like, charge and blink, and he's already got Immortals out, it's just... this is a tough spot for KeeN.
It's funny because in a back-and-forth game, when the dust finally settles, you definitely see who seems to be in the advantage, you know. With KeeN contained, it doesn't seem to have a lot of options. Finally has a Raven out to detect DTs, but already a gold base being taken here. SOS in a good position, a Warp Prism available. I mean, things are looking good for SOS. The game's not over, but it seems like it's closer to over than it was before.
Yeah, like, SOS has an army-crushing army right now. If you look at what he's got here, 23 charge lots. 23 charge lots. The correct way to play against this is for KeeN not to move out for a little bit to try to get a bit of harassment done, but he doesn't really have any time to do anything because 3-2's on the way here for SOS. And, like, 3-2 is the death blow. At that point, you can just attack, move into depots and kill him, you know? It's just, KeeN is going to be so far behind.
Ooh, looks like this Warp Prism will inadvertently spot the drop that's coming out, the drop that was helping to put KeeN back into an actual winning position here. KeeN debates coming back and taking it out and decides to instead press forward. SOS already rotating and getting ready to deny this.
KeeN's got to run away immediately. He should know that there are units like here to get him.
Oh man, and he's gonna get what?
Yeah, I feel like that was pretty predictable when the Prism saw him. Like, there's no way that KeeN can think. He has to basically get out without being seen to do harassment damage.
Okay, looks like this is going to be denied over here before that can actually come in. Nicely done.
That is a lot of Widow Mines.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a lot of Zealots coming in here.
Yeah.
Now, the Marines and Marauders might be able to kite for a while here. Oh, look at that. Beautifully done.
Yeah.
Takes out both the Widow Mines there, too, along with that Liberator. Now, the fact that the War Prism's gone means that additional buff doesn't matter. GG, I was going to say additional War Prisms won't be that close, but with the presence that SOS already has, he should be able to close it out, and he does.
Yeah, solid game right there. So KeeN wins the game in which he proxies, but loses the game in which he does
Well, listen,
not.
KeeN needs to quit messing around and making buildings inside of his base. This is 2018.
You gotta learn. But, I mean, KeeN not looking too bad today. Definitely these games a little bit down and dirty, but that's what happens when you're playing against SOS more oftentimes than not.
SOS, a crafty player. He can think on his feet. So let's go into game 3. Again, guys, this is a best of 5. This ain't no GSL Code S. This is the Super Tournament. We make them do best of 5s,
Yeah.
and then if they lose, they go hang out at Grandma's house for the summer. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's put it like that.
If SOS loses this and you ask me where he is, yeah, he went to Grandma's farm.
He's at Grandma's farm, running around outside, having fun.
Yeah, no, he's having a great time.
He's playing on a Switch right now. He's really happy.
He's playing on a Switch.
Okay, Acid Plant is the map. Let's see who gets the lead in this series as we're tied up 1-1. SOS versus KeeN here in the GSL Super Tournament.
GSL Super Tournament Season 2 Round of 16 Match 2. Jin Air Green Wings, SOS.
Pretty quick probe once again.
By the way, this SCV... Oh, hold on.
Oh my god, he found it.
Yeah, he found it.
the
Yeah.
SCV.
KeeN.
That's insane.
This is always this awkward part. We got to do player intros, but look at this. Let's just put it on camera.
KeeN has to be so frustrated right now.
Okay, so they found each other, and they had a little bit of a scuffle. Probe lost some shields. SCV took some bruises. Probably a black eye, a fat lip right now, and then they backed up, okay?
Yeah.
It's not going to be murder in the second degree here, okay? They're going to go on their separate ways and both tell the story a little bit differently, okay, when they get back home.
That's really super cute to me, too. They both attacked each other for a little bit, and then both of them let the other one, like, run away, because at that point, you know that there's not going to be a proxy, because both of you have to have started your structure by then.
Yeah. All right, from Washington, D.C., thank you for coming down. Very good-looking audience we have here tonight.
Oh, indeed.
Proves my theory that beautiful people like StarCraft 2.
It's so true. It's so true.
So this game... Oh!
SCV flank.
Yeah.
Get out of here, SOS probe.
That's annoying, actually, for SOS. You really did want to have that, especially since the Wallen wasn't done at the Terran's side of the map. You could have gotten a better read on what's going on. But already this game, not going to go the way either player planned it out to be. So from here, I mean, let's see what kind of game we're going to have. Again, I feel like SOS, the best player historically at thinking on his feet, at being in unusual situations, and kind of navigating it beautifully to a victory.
Well, makes the Robo again. This is kind of an interesting thing. This is now 3 games in a row in which SOS opted for a quick Robo. You know, if you look at basically what the more standard PvT has been for years now, it's Stargate. Probably then followed by Twilight, followed by Robo. It's just Robo openings haven't been, you know, they're generally considered a little bit aggressive, a little bit cheesy. You know, Colossus defensive plays are not really a thing anymore. You just get outmaneuvered.
Yeah, it's funny because the Colossus play on paper, if armies are fighting, looked like it made sense. But then when you look at mobility, you can play around a Colossus.
Yeah, getting a third base against Terran with Colossus as your opener is not necessarily good. But the fact that SOS is getting out a very quick Immortal each game, I like this. You know, a lot of people have been messing around with Cyclones and things like that. I mean, this gives him options to be aggressive as well.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm just loving where StarCraft 2 is at right now. We're seeing just a good amount of variety, and the crazier that these games get, it's like a healthy thing. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what's going to be even crazier is when we get more and more new maps because of this proxy game. Yeah. And how do people predict the proxies, or are there going to be new types of proxies based off the geography of the map itself? Again, are we going to have it mapped out where all the Terran proxies specifically are basically figured out, and then you have the bluffing game around that?
Yeah.
There's so many different ways the game can go now.
I need someone to bust out a Proxy Nexus build. You remember Billowy's Proxy Nexus game?
Yeah. This is
where the Mothership had recall, basically had a giant map named Waypoint, and Billowy, now retired, he just like made a Nexus out in the map, like somewhere that no one would ever scout, and Terran was keeping pressure on, then suddenly recalled his whole army, went and killed Terran. It was super cool. Anyways.
The Reaper comes in again.
I want to see very high quality.
Are we going to have Dark Shrine every time here from SOS, by the way?
Well, he definitely does like DTs. I don't feel like they've actually done that much.
Well, but maybe them being on the map like this and keeping Terran having to make a Raven before they push out, maybe that's actually the strength, dude. Maybe it's not. Okay, hold on. I got to stop talking about I'm getting too big picture here, everybody.
Yeah.
Well, there's all these little crazy fights going on. Wait, does he just kill him here?
Yeah. Well, he does so much damage that he may as well be dead, right?
Yeah. Okay, there's a tank out, but so is an Immortal. Ooh, War Prism a little bit too far back. You can't quite juggle at that distance.
Doing some reasonable damage right there. 9 SCVs killed, plus some Marines, plus a medevac. Almost killed the Viking. Behind this, look at how nice and greedy he's being.
2 Forge, cool.
Yeah, the third Nexus, the double Forge, the Gateway adds. Now all that SOS really needs to do is keep on pressure without throwing away his army. Because it doesn't seem like there's going to be a really great time for KeeN. Like, when Stim finishes, maybe he can try to find some damage.
Well, he's basically sandbagging progress as far as the economy goes. It's like he's killing off a few workers. They have to run away. Look at this. He's got to go up here and just take the Viking out. Beautifully done. Now, Stim's finally done, but how much was Terran really slowed down? That's the question. Well, I mean, can Terran actually come out and assert himself on the map? I don't think so.
No, it doesn't seem that way. Like, he's got to play a bit defensively. He's not entirely sure of how much SOS is putting in here. You know, it's already turning into kind of that same thing that we saw in the previous game where it's like, okay, oh man, he's just not doing anything. Yeah. Where maybe he can sneak out a medevac, and that's how he starts to get something done.
He's like, anyways, what I was saying was,
jeez,
damn man, SOS so good. So Blink is done. I think that's going to have
look at that damage.
Yeah, 13 SCVs killed, 11 Marines, a medevac, a Viking.
Reaper and a Depot.
A repo. So I think Blink's going to be more handy if Terran tries to drop. Now, if Terran does try to drop and the Blink eats the medevacs, this is just going to get worse here for KeeN.
Oh, he's trying to flank this Prism, but you watch, he'll just recall it if he needs to.
Yeah, SOS really getting his money's worth with that medevac and the Stalker and the Immortal.
And he's got a good spread all over the place as well. He's really set up to watch for incoming drops, knowing that that's really the only thing that KeeN can do at this point. KeeN is making like a reasonably strong army, but it seems like SOS is just ahead of that curve where he probably won't. You know, occasionally you'll have like Terran come out, and there's like a minute, 2 minutes where Protoss has to almost be creative. He has to slow him down a little bit, maybe use force fields, pick off a medevac, make Terran waste a stim or something like that. It feels like he's ahead of that curve where it's like, yeah, KeeN's going to move out and SOS is fine. He's got enough units.
Okay, KeeN can finally take that third base. I don't know that SOS is going to try to contest it. He might. You know, siege tanks, granted they're countered by Immortals here. If he can get a good enough position here where the Immortals can't quite get in there and do the damage to the siege tanks, maybe KeeN could try to recoup in this game. SOS is still growing, though, at a pretty impressive rate. By the way, both sides here are doing a great job on upgrades.
Yes, indeed. That
Oh,
the
hold on.
2-2 coming up
Oh
so
my
quick.
god. Oh my god. These
Oh,
medevacs
boy.
are too important.
Oh man.
Okay, this is really bad.
Yeah, KeeN is...
That was enough of the army itself for KeeN that I think SOS can actually come in here and take the CC out that's making.
That's the second time we saw that same thing where it's like his drop gets scouted when he knows he's behind, but
Yeah.
he doesn't run all the way.
It's almost like he's autopiloting it.
Yeah. He's like, well, I gotta get something done. It's
Okay, so I think economically that should, for these two levels, these two player levels, that should be game. Just
Yeah.
losing the third command
Yeah.
center, that's really hard to recover from. And now we see this attack spilling in here. And I mean, it's all tier 1 units, but the sheer number of zealots and stalkers, the sentry as well, I mean, this is just really hard to deal with.
Hey, he's dealing a ton of damage. Even losing this army is going to be all right. Look at that, 18 SCVs, 20 SCVs down. KeeN can eventually clear
Dude,
this.
he's
Oh
going
my
to get the
god.
CC. GG. SOS takes it 2-1. Pretty sick.
Yep.
Pretty
Just needs to
good.
win one more, and suddenly Gumiho is knocked out of BlizzCon.
I don't know, guys. This Seuss player seems pretty impressive.
Seuss?
Yeah, Seuss. It's too bad he misspelled that Greek god's name, but
Yeah.
whatever. I'm more interested in his play as far as I want to say.
I like that interpretation
Yeah.
of his ID.
Yeah.
Seuss.
Or sauce. Maybe he thinks it's sauce. Well, let me just tell you this. He's got the secret sauce this
Oh
game,
my God.
Artosis.
His play is pretty saucy.
Give you that much. Okay, lost and found. Hopefully he can find Maru's proxy builds in there. It's like, yeah, we have some proxy builds, but I need to see some ID. And KeeN's like, I got to go to my car. I'll be right back.
All right, lost and found. Let's see if KeeN can bring this back and bring us to a Game 5. I'm hoping we get some Game 5s today. That Maru
What time
Rogue
is it?
match
Hold
I
on.
came in today, I'm like, oh, this is going to go to 5 games. It's going to be sick.
We started at 5, right? We started
Start
at
5.
Okay, it's about to turn 7 here.
All right, nice.
I'm feeling good, though. I've got the energy
An hour
flowing
match,
through me.
I can go with that.
I'm fine with that. Okay, guys, our game's loaded. Right now, SOS with a 2-1 lead against KeeN here in the GSL SuperTournament.
GSL SuperTournament.
Yeah, like I said.
Season 2. Round of 16. Match 2.
Indeed. It's about time. Of course, the probe coming out so quickly. Oh, this is one of those, like, kind of very sneaky ones, huh? Where it's not really a proxy that much.
Yeah, this is like the mind games
Yeah.
are getting pretty crazy.
Like, he might just go into, like, a command center from this or something.
So
and- Yeah, go
we
ahead.
originally saw this long ago with Maka Prime. We want to go all the way back to the early days, where you'd put a barracks just outside of your main base, and then what you're doing is they scout you, they're freaking out, they're looking everywhere for it, and you just make an expand or tech pretty gradually, and you just go back to your base. And what happens is the other player has overreacted, is bracing for impact when nothing's coming.
Yeah, and he's actually kind of checking for that. We saw that click. He was just like, oh, is the barracks right here possibly? No? Okay. He'll never really scout where the barracks actually is, so it's a little bit tricky in that way. Also, KeeN, as soon as he saw the probe, he threw down the second gas. Doesn't mean he wasn't going to do it, but just the fact that SOS did gas steal from him before, I think that's something you do have to block against.
Okay. SOS, again, with a very specific play style here. He likes to come out here. He wants his Warp Prism, his Immortals. He wants Blink. And he wants to use that not defensively, but really to put pressure on the Terran. SOS is very good at these, unique situations with Micro comes into play. He's incredible at harass. You know, it was always him and Hero we were talking about, the two guys with the crazy builds that come in here. Now, this SOS seems to have a little bit more bones to the play style. We're seeing some patterns come out here, and this may be what he's come up with to try to handle this, but as I say that, I'm sorry, he's not going to go for a Stargate, so he will actually mix it up this time. I was expecting the Robo like we already saw in the previous games.
It certainly did really well in previous games. He's used it 3 times in a row going for a Robo. I mean, a different way in Game 1 for sure with the proxy, but The Stargate, you know, you might be thinking is KeeN as well. Thinking, oh god, yeah, this is probably just going to be Robo again. I got to be more careful against these Immortal-based attacks and the early Prism. Absolutely not coming.
Okay, the Reaper's putting a little bit of pressure on here. The Adept's basically to try to soak, the Zealot to try to soak as well. There's not really that much you can do to fight the Reapers in a situation like this. You're just trying to drive them back.
Yeah, you need another stronger unit out here to really fight against them.
Now, let's keep in mind, guys, as far as KeeN's concerned, it really has been Robo every game. So there's an element of surprise here. This is what's so great about best of fives, just any series in an RTS, is that the data that you get from the previous game you can use in the next game, but of course they can also use that against you. So let's see if in any way SOS can throw KeeN off this game. Again, SOS just needs one more win.
Yeah.
So he might try to kind of blindside him strategically.
By the way, you know, there's obviously been some micro going on down here, but the Oracle sat at the Stargate for a long time.
He almost like showed the Phoenix there for a second. It was kind of weird.
Oh, did he?
I think that, I don't know if it got spotted because it was kind of over that high ground, but the Phoenix like went down there for a second, then he yanked it back away.
Oh, did he skip Oracle?
Yeah, he totally skipped Oracle.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna say. No wonder then why that sat there.
Yeah, no, he was banking him up.
Yeah.
Now, there's been plenty of time to get Widow Mines here. And in fact, I feel like these are going right into the Widow Mines. If it... Okay, not bad. Well handled. All Phoenixes get away.
Yeah, it doesn't target the really damaged one. Gonna back up for now. Definitely doesn't want to have his Phoenix count reduced at all. It's a very easy way to lose a game if you've opened up with Phoenixes. Now, he is going into Robo from here. Oh, wow.
I think he's okay with the Phoenixes being hit.
Huh.
I think what's happening really, man, is he's just reducing the Widow Mine count. And if you're just good at having the Phoenixes rotated...
But over time, that isn't good. It can be useful occasionally,
I see what you're
over
saying,
time,
but
it's definitely not a good move.
But let's also keep in mind, Artosis, Widow Mine drops have been a big thing in StarCraft 2, especially as of late. We've seen a lot of players lose, and maybe it's actually worth the sacrifice. Look, because it seems like he knows what he's doing. Here it is again. And he takes that out. Now, if those Widow Mines were in medevacs and flying across the map, I think the Phoenixes would catch him anyways. Yeah. But if they didn't, then the Phoenixes could probably go inside and get the base. So maybe eliminating the option of the Widow Mine drops inside the main is what he's trying to do. And maybe this looks funny with the math, but it's actually probably fine. I'm just guessing because it's SOS.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. It's a really interesting concept. Because it seems weird. That's the third time that he did it. So it's definitely like, this is part of the plan. This is something that he does sometimes.
And look, now he's got an Observer coming in here. So he eliminated the option of the Widow Mine drops. With the Observer here, he can actually snag Widow Mines pretty easily.
Yeah, and by the way, it is Colossus tech, and as we know, Phoenix Colossus definitely is a composition that can work very well together. But that further makes me question about this move, and it could still be the Widow Mine thing that you're suggesting, where he's like really preventing drops. But like if your Vikings are all really low health, then they aren't going to live long enough to keep the Colossus alive if your opponent commits to Vikings. So yeah, I don't know. Well, good thing he has that there, huh?
Yeah. Now, the Banshees are way far away from home.
He didn't see the Banshees.
No,
even though they flew over the Adept.
Hold on. Did he really just miss it? I mean, you're right. The Phoenixes aren't going up.
The Phoenix is 100% with Dog.
See, I always give SOS too much of the benefit of the doubt. I was thinking, okay, he's just going to know by the timing of this when he needs to get back there.
You are the actual biggest SOS fan.
I am the biggest SOS fan here. Well, these Banshees are going to get in here, and there's going to be a push at the third over here at 3 o'clock. The natural enemy of the Banshee, the cannon.
Oh, but now no units here at the third base, so those Banshees actually worth their weight in gold right now. The third base, 100% going to die because of that recall.
Yeah, I mean, this is KeeN's game right now.
Yeah.
That was a big win. Ooh.
And you know...
What am I seeing? Okay.
Well...
Okay.
Man.
Oh!
I feel like this series overall, it's like we're watching a mud wrestling match.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
But that is how many SOS games do look. And, you know, back to your idea about what he was doing with the Phoenixes, it was kind of right because he kept reducing that Widowmine count, and then eventually, like, when the Banshees were out, and, well, he didn't know, but...
Well, here's the funny thing. He
actually got in and did some good harass.
Yeah, he should have actually been able to kill the Banshees. That's what's kind of weird about it. SOS had the answer, but he did not execute it. I guess he just wasn't watching the mini-map. There wasn't a depth. It seemed there to spot possibly something like that. It could have been a medevac as well, but something, right? So KeeN now, with a considerably larger army. You know, when Terran are ahead in army supply, it's against the Protoss, it's really bad because Protoss need to have a whole bunch of different units working together to win a fight, at least in most cases.
Yeah, you generally need a lot of technicality.
If you're talking about anything with sentries and zealots, then you need to have a lot of other stuff there too. And I think now this attack here from KeeN, this is going to be tough.
Yeah.
Now, Colossi can deal with bunched up units. KeeN is pretty crafty when it comes to his unit control here.
The Phoenix is not going to be part of this army. I don't think they would help out that much anyways. They have almost no health from all the Widowmines they've killed.
KeeN scanning to make sure there's no observer here. And this does make a window here where you can try to drop inside the main. Oh, but looky here.
Yeah, it seems like there's plenty of units, but he's still going to give it a try. Another couple medevacs rocketing out. Oh, great force fields right there. Seems like SOS deals with everything fantastically. And you know what? That was like, I think that this moment that we just witnessed was maybe the critical moment of defense for SOS.
Yeah.
Not that he's won the game from here, but he's going to have 2-1 charge. He's getting kind of the critical mass that you need with Colossus, where suddenly your army is way, way, way scarier to deal with.
Okay. Medevac's picking up here. Again, looking for an opening right now. Now, sometimes Terrans can kind of shoot themselves in the foot in these positions where they're trying to come in here and look for the opening to harass. You know, the way that Maru beats everybody. TY beats everybody with these great drops out positioning the army. But if the player's ready, then they just hold everything off. And so, I mean, look at this shield battery on this Glot. This is so sick. So this is... Now, he eventually kills it.
God.
He eventually kills it, but at what cost was that?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Wow. Wow. Between just the pullbacks, the force fields,
everything.
And the shield battery.
Yeah.
That shield battery.
That was like not even on screen.
Oh my God. That Colossus lived so much longer than it was supposed to.
But again, SOS with good reaction timing. The Terrans want to pick a fight. They want to come in, but sometimes these Protosses have such good defense. It makes the Terran look silly forever attacking in.
Yeah.
Now, there's a counterattack coming in over here. Whoa, what am I seeing? Okay.
Yeah.
An Archon being made. He will have to recall that 100%. Oh, sick! Beautifully done.
That was awesome.
Okay, this army's now isolated. KeeN's going to have to use this to buy time. He wants us to be chased instead of having his own base be counterattacked, but SOS is going to close in on this pretty easily. Really good control here. Now, does he want to attack? It looks like KeeN is going to, once again, throw another drop in there. Keep SOS on the defense.
Yeah,
by the way, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Even if he's on the defense, like, what's the long-term game plan here? Okay, so he's making medevacs and liberators. I kind of like that. I don't want to see him go into Vikings or anything like that. Liberator's going to give him a bit more of a chance, but SOS's unit composition plus upgrades is kind of out of control. He's got Psystorm, he's got Colossi. Look at this, he's adding disruptors now. He's going to have Blink. This is a beautiful spot to be in as a Protoss. You don't see a lot of Protosses right now in GSL really get into this spot that often because the games are getting decided a lot quicker, especially all the proxy play and everything. But the fact that he's getting his second robo and he's working on the final upgrades, taking his fourth base and all this, it becomes pretty tough for Terran to deal with that, but I think that Mass Liberator is definitely a step in the right direction.
Well, it's interesting as well because you see KeeN kind of doing what, you know, TY Maru, our two great Terrans now of 2018, have done. But what's funny is that KeeN just kind of runs into a wall over and over again. And, you know, SOS is continuing to tech properly. Now, that's not to say that KeeN can't win this game, guys. Do not misunderstand what I'm saying. But it seems like SOS is pretty comfortably navigating this game into a direction where the possibility of a closer is totally there. Especially when when you get an armies this big, if KeeN does a big pickup and the drop's picked off, SOS is going to go right across the map and end it.
Yeah, that is very, very true. What is the best case scenario for KeeN winning this game? I
don't know, actually. I actually want to say he picks up and goes across the map and gets a drop and it works.
Sure.
So
that could be it. I think the Liberators are probably the #1 idea for him here. Look, he's got a healthy count. Oh, he actually has more Vikings than I thought he had. That's kind of interesting. I don't think that the Vikings are going to be all that useful. When you start seeing this many air units, look at this. When he scouts those Liberators, by the way, I know I'm all over the place right now, but
no, you're fine.
He adds the fleet beacon. But when you get this many air units, when you're really relying on those air units, your actual ground army is going to get completely smashed if the air units are not really helping them, right? He's got Medivacs, he's got Vikings, he's got Liberators. So the actual Bioforce is really not that strong. You're really kind of leaning on these flying units. And if SOS can get into Tempest, which I imagine is where he's going right now, then KeeN has to do some very decisive pushes very quickly.
Here comes the decoy attack. The real attack is going to be in these Medivacs that actually just get spotted. By the way, the pylon is there to spot something like that. He wants to have vision out here on the map.
He has been doing that just about perfectly all game, all day. Rather.
Okay, great side storm there. Completely drives away the army. Now, in the map, it looks like SOS, it seemed for a second as though he wanted to turn around and try and intercept that. Instead, okay, he's not made up his mind. He's going back and forth. I guess it's fine. His upgrades are still just now finishing. Yeah. That's given KeeN some time to set up a defensive position. 3-3, by the way, finishing for Terran.
And, you know, I was careful to say I think he's going to Tempest because it's SOS, and there's always a chance of something crazy, like going for carriers.
Ooh, this is cool. Carriers, huh?
Yeah, you don't see them very often against Terran, but
yeah.
I mean, the carrier is just a good unit, straight up.
Yes.
So we will see if that works out for him. Liberator range is on the way. Obviously, carriers are not as good at picking off, you know, the Liberators as Tempest, but look how many disruptors he even has now. This is wild.
Yeah, this is cool because he can chuck those in there, and that forces Terran to try to engage this army. And there's enough disruptors. He can go into the no man's land, hit there. If Terran tries to come out and fight back, a few more disruptor shots come out.
Yeah, the disruptor. There is a disruptor blink dance that can occur as well.
Yes, but that means there's nothing, as far as I can see, to counter this counterattack. And so that is forced to cancel. Now, this game, for the most part, has been 4 bases to 4 base. SOS was trying to take a 5th, but that was stopped. And, you know, TVP is kind of a funny matchup in that it's not a mirror matchup, but you generally see both players kind of on the same number of bases, and if you see one on more than the other for any point in time, it's bad. It's not like the way we understand, for instance, like a Zerg's in the game where the Zerg's just kind of supposed to be ahead of the Terran or the Protoss in bases. So, it is this funny game where you see a lot of harass. Oh, hold on. Oh, big hits here. 3, yes, 3 Liberators go down.
Yeah, that was really nice for one Stalker. That's great value. I can't believe he's making 4 carriers at a time right now against a Terran that's not meching. This is like such a rare circumstance.
Okay, he comes across now. Oh, you can see KeeN's going to try to set up a position here. I don't think SOS wants to fight this head on, but SOS could try to pull this fight, this army over to the left here, and that's going to drag KeeN back into this or force KeeN to try to base trade, which I don't think is a good idea since you can see the Colossi Templars are already set up here. Right now, SOS is ready to hold off a lot with pretty much the bare minimum. See, right there?
Yeah, he can't break that. I love how he left the one Colossus there.
And the two Zealots there too. Useless. It's just enough time for the storm that can come down, and they have to hit the Zealots first, and the Colossi will get enough shots off.
Yeah.
So he's pooling the carriers here. I don't believe Terran knows that carriers are actually the tech. No. Unless I missed something.
Well, he just added 3 starports, so maybe he knows now?
But I don't know if he knows it's carriers. He might think it's Tempest.
That's possible.
Okay, he's going back home. This is, of course, something Protoss can utilize in moments like this, is they can come out and attack and attack and attack. The same way that Terran have these medevacs, right? They can move their whole army across the map. recall is necessary. Protoss can't always run back home as easily.
He's about to have 6 carriers right now. Those Vikings aren't going to know what hit him. Liberators, of course, do
KeeN
nothing
just takes his position out.
Well, positionally, he's worked hard to get all these Liberators out, but the carriers are going to blindside him.
Yep. Now, here's what's funny. There is no recall for Terran, which means a lot of these Liberators can be picked off. If SOS can go to the side here,
oh, God.
he can actually isolate this army. Oh! Big mistake there.
Yeah.
Losing his own Stalkers. Now, there's a split here. Both armies are on the run. KeeN going to try to do a counterattack over here. Now, remember, there's no recall available here. Some warp-ins to try to buy some time.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Like, he is pretty far away from most of the ground army. Carriers will, well, when they come up, they will clear everything pretty quickly.
Hey, these things are pretty good.
Turns out.
Is he going to get that forge? He is. Armor level 3 denied. That's kind of crazy. Now, when it's all said and done,
3 armor marauder is pretty
the carriers give up. There's no way that thing's ever going to die.
Yeah.
Now, Terran's taken the bottom position. That means Terran's on 5 bases. SOS is trying to play catch-up to 5. But there were a lot of Liberators killed. Maybe SOS can come in here with this big attack. And KeeN won't have the right tools to fight it, especially with the carriers. And by the way, with the carriers here, you can go all the way and to the heart of the Terran's base.
But you have to kill them with Vikings. Nothing else is going to work because of the Disruptors. The Disruptors are just going to keep all the bios so far back.
Okay, carriers coming out now.
Oh my God, Disruptors absolutely everywhere. The Liberators, though, just massacring the ground.
Everything is disappearing. Terran's going to pounce in here. Immortals go down, and I mean, he's going to recall, but I think this game's going to go back over to Terran.
Yeah.
Terran's going to just dive now towards his base.
Now, this is why normally what you see is Tempest against this. It's not that this is really a very normal game state by any means.
You almost said McDonald's, but you meant to say game state, yes.
Did I say
I feel like McGame state. Yes. No, I get my words mixed up too, Artosis.
Hey, I'm from the internet. I just put Mick in front of things and it's funny, right? Look at me, I'm from the internet. I'm in my early 20s.
Yeah. So this McDonald's, counterattack could be huge.
No, but
coming over here.
But these McCarriers.
Yeah.
Carriers or Mick carriers? That's a real. Well, they're donning their hats to those Vikings.
KeeN or McKean is what I'm saying. Yeah. Well, we supersize this one.
But yeah, like the fact that he fought under those Liberators, you have to eliminate the Liberators because the ground army of SOS is better than the ground army of KeeN, and the air army of SOS is better than the air army of KeeN. But if you let the Liberators wreck everything, then it's just that's basically what we saw happen there.
By the way, guys, this game could go on for a lot longer. TVP is funny like that, especially on big maps. It's hard to get the closer. So it's a long series of different jabs coming out in different areas.
It's just funny that he's adding another Colossus here as well.
Okay. Not the storm of the year right there. Terran's going to try to move in here towards the east side of the map. Get a position where he can isolate the armies from kind of merging together and helping out to defend this location. And then I think KeeN might look for the weaker area. In this case, it's going to be where that Robo is and attack in. So SOS is going all the way around, and I don't believe he's going all the way around to try to hit this army from behind. He's going all the way around to try to straight up fight this.
Look at just how many carriers he's making. This is just ludicrous right now. I feel like I'm watching him play PvZ.
Now look at this. Some of the army's running back. Keep in mind, KeeN's basically started the base trade first.
Yeah, he has got to clear these Vikings really quickly. If he loses too many of the carriers, the game is just going to end.
Okay, we have the Vikings hitting from all these different sides now. Some great side storms. The Vikings continuing to do damage. The ground army here is very strong, pushing forward.
Oh my God, the Cloak Ghost coming over, actually.
I almost didn't see those.
There's no detection here.
Does he have any storm? I don't see any Templars actually
anymore. He got rid of them all. He just came over and sieged up.
Meanwhile, this attack over here is being held off.
What a wild game.
Now, it's not an insane amount of ghosts, but he's going to have to basically avoid them. Yeah. Ghosts are not exactly very quick units. And what was kind of a funny exchange on both sides, it seems like somehow SOS comes out wildly on top. Look at this. And he's going to just, I guess, wash his hands of that attack in his base and come right back down here and try to take out this bottom location. And I think in kind of one of the more technical games we've gotten to cast in a while, he might have then zoned KeeN out economically from coming back in this game.
Yeah, he doesn't have any Liberators left over.
I almost feel like I'm going to have to rewatch this because this was such an interesting set of decisions. It looked like KeeN should have been on top, but the way SOS handled it was so smart, and you see that KeeN doesn't really have any options to counterattack and have a healed army, right? I mean, how many medevacs does this guy really have? He's mostly been making Vikings.
He's got one medevac
because he's been making Vikings to deal with the carriers, which then shuts out the real option to counterattack.
And now he's lost so many air units, he's just focusing on not dying to carriers by making mass Viking. But that means that he doesn't have a great way to deal with the ground army.
Look at the
ground
minerals.
army's smaller now, but...
Guys, look at the minerals here going up for KeeN. Or barely going up.
Yeah,
he's broke.
Pretty slow, but... Oh, Psystorm's good spell.
Okay, some great storms. More Stalkers coming up. The Immortals, the Carriers, the Stalkers, just too much. GG. SOS is the next victor here in the Super Tournament.
Yes, and with that, Gumiho has been eliminated from the BlizzCon running.
Yes.
Unfortunate for him, but fortunate for SOS, I guess, at this point. SOS currently has obtained rank 8 in WCS Korea's standings, but may not necessarily keep it for too long. Trap has a chance to take that away from him tonight.
Yes. Crazy games here.
Yeah, that was a wild series. Really a lot of fun, though. You know, you can see that KeeN, this guy is a really high-level player, and I just hope that he keeps improving because his games are really fun. They're really cool. He has his own way of playing.
I mean, it's crazy because he really played some of the best games we've seen from him, but SOS, especially in that last game, I mean, I feel like if I'm KeeN, I would look at that and say, what did I do wrong? That was so crazy. We got to go to a break. We come back, our third best of 5 here in the Super Tournament. Stick around.